Hello again, and welcome back, everybody, to another edition of the Row Report. I am your Row 2IC, and today I'm going to throw out a little list, okay? And so this one is going to be cheap and sometimes free, overlooked prepping items that you may want to get. And this might be a little bit of a short video. I'm going to try and run through this list and give you a few ideas, at least into my insight on why I consider them important. So, number one on the list, trash bags, okay? It doesn't take much. One, maybe two trash bags. They fold up really nice, or you can use it in your bag, line it, put the trash bag down in there, and then put all your items in there. I know people will go, well, then you'll poke a hole in it and you're rubbing it, and this, okay, I get it, I get it. But a trash bag, you can fold up really, really small and tuck it down into something. Uh, so it's a good one. Now, uh, if you're going to do a trash bag, try and get like a contractor's style trash bag. The thicker mill is what you would want, but technically any of the trash bags kind of will work. So there's a lot of reasons. One, it's a great way to carry stuff. So let's say that you picked up a bag, or you got a hand me down that your kid got a new book bag, and so that way you are going to use the old book bag as your bug out bag, and it failed. You took it on a hiking trip, you're halfway through and the strap broke. Well, now you can take that bag and put it inside the trash bag, and temporarily you can throw it over and kind of hobo style it and get you back to where you need to be. Without that, you might be trying to baby carry this thing 2 miles back out. Okay. But there's a lot of reasons. It's good for gathering. If you're going out for food or doing anything along those lines, you can put water in it. There's a lot of reasons to have a bag. Plastic is a great thing. You can even do things to where you make like a solar still and make it to where you're getting fresh water. There's a lot of reasons. Okay, moving on is going to be a baggie. Now, a resealable baggie would be ideal, if you will, but any baggie will technically work. Now, granted, yes, this kind of can go with number one, but it's got its own purposes because of its size and its functionality, which is why I listed it as number two. They're pocket sized. You can put a lot of things in there and shove it in the pocket. You can dangle it. You can do different things. Now, again, just like the trash bag, if you can get the thicker, kind of more name brand ones, the better. But technically any of them will work. And that's why I kind of like the resealable. And really, I like the ones that have the little zipper thing on the top, because then anybody, even, a 2-year-old usually knows how to operate those. But then again, it's going to be what you can get, your budget, things like that. Now, a lot of the stuff that I go through on this list, you can go buy at a dollar store, or just take one or two out of what you already have. You've already bought them, they're there. Just take one or two out and put it off to the side, and that's going to be part of your preps. There's a lot of reasons to have a baggie. You can use that to where you can use it to start a fire. You can be out, and while you're walking and doing whatever, you can forage. You see some berries or different things, you can put them down in there, and now you have a smaller thing. You're not taking a giant trash bag and putting a handful of berries in it. Now you have a small baggie. There's a ton of reasons to have a baggie, and I think that it would be really great to put that in your prep. Next is going to be a small sewing kit. Okay, there's a lot of reasons to have that. I mean, obvious, the main reason, it's going to be to repair clothing. And so I think it's often overlooked, but let's say that you have to bug out. Okay, you're going to have what you have on, and then you may, if you thought about it, put an extra pair of clothing into your bag. But let's say that you have to spend 3 weeks before you can go back. In 3 weeks time, there's a lot that can happen, and it would be nice to be able to patch a hole or to hem something up. Maybe you have long sleeves and it's loose fitting and it's constantly getting in your way, but you don't want to take it off. You could very easily roll that up and just run a quick 2-3 line stitch, and keep it up. And then, at nighttime, rip that stitch, and now you got long sleeves again. Okay. But in a pinch, you can take and use that to do medical. I wouldn't advise it, but it technically will work. There's a ton of different ones. I've seen people use it, not necessarily the thread part, but they've fashioned fishing hooks out of needles. Uh, there's a lot that goes into why you would want to include a mini sewing kit. Next one is going to be a bandana. Now there's a ton of reasons, and actually they make a survival bandana, and the reason why they call it a survival bandana is because on it gives you pictures and diagrams and all sorts of different things on what you can do with a bandana. You can use it to get cool and wrap around your head, so that way you are wet, you can get it wet and keep it around your head to keep you cool. You can put it over your face, where your nose and your mouth is, to keep out dust particles, odors, things like that. Again, you can store things. So you found a whole bunch of walnuts or whatever, you can put it in there. There is a ton of reasons. Medical that you can use it for, filtration. A bandana is a huge universal. Usually you can get them at the dollar store for $1 a piece. Sometimes you catch them on sale. I've seen them two for $1. There's no excuse not to have a bandana in your prep. Next is going to be zip ties, and I hope that all of you have zip ties. They are very functional. They're a great semi-permanent way to bind something. They are a great fix for, a temp fix to a semi-permanent fix when it comes to anything with maybe a tent where you had a hole or whatever. So you could break out your sewing kit and patch up the little part of the tent, and then now you have a zip tie to attach the tent to the tent pole. There's a lot of reasons that when it comes to zip ties, you can use it for security, you can use it for trapping. There's a there's a ton. We could go over zip ties kind of like bandanas. Next is going to be a simple book of matches. They are cheap, they're small, they're lightweight. You can get them for free at different places. Not as much as I remember growing up. There always used to be that bowl of matches, and that was kind of like a business card. But not so much anymore. But I still see them out from time to time. And again, it goes with the obvious. It's a great fire starter. At the very end, use the book, and now you got a little bit of tinder. They make a great bartering item. They're It's one of those items. There's no excuse why you probably shouldn't have at least one book of matches. Next is going to be your wet wipe, and this is one of the ones I was talking about for free. You ever go to a restaurant and get some wings or anything like that, and they give you like a handful? You get 10, 15 wet wipes, and you end up using one or two. Save those. Again, a lot of times you can get those for free. They're small, they're lightweight. If you have to buy them, they're cheap. They're insanely cheap to go buy. Throw them in a bag and just leave them there. They are sealed. Unless something gets to them, it's very hard for them to dry out. They're a good sanitary. So if you're out getting into the mud and this and that and all this other stuff, before you eat, if you don't have anything, a quick wet wipe, and there you go. And then now you have fire material, because a lot of those have alcohol in them. They will burn easy. They'll take a spark really, really easy. They're a multi-use item. You should have one. Next is going to be foil. When it comes to foil, there's a lot of reasons. We did the video I put out, it was probably months ago, but it was the very first video on char cloth, and everybody was using the candy tin, and I was like, okay, what happens if you don't have a candy tin? I used foil. I built my own little box out of nothing but foil. I made the shape, I put the cloth in there, put the top on it, set it over a fire, and I successfully made a container for char cloth out of nothing but foil. Okay, I proved it can work. There's a multitude of reasons that you should have foil. It's a temporary device that if you've got uh, fresh water, okay, you've got a container, you got fresh water, and you want to save it overnight. A little bit of foil over top of that will keep, bugs and dirt and things like that from getting in there. Uh, you can use it to cook with. You can use it to clean with. It's a very good thing that I've seen people scrub things with. There's a lot of reasons to have foil. Again, cheap, lightweight. It's one of those that once you discover some of the uses, you may want to seriously consider it. Next is going to be chapstick. Okay. Yes, you have the obvious. It's for your lips. You can actually use it on your skin. So if you're out and about and you're fear of getting like windburn or anything like that, it's an agent that covers and protects. And so you can use it on your lips. You can use it on skin and various other things. I've seen people use it in a pinch for dry skin and different things like that. I don't know if it works. Just putting that out there. But it does burn. Okay. So if you need something that if you are out and about and you need a little bit of help trying to get something to burn, you can use that. I've seen people use them kind of like as a makeshift quick emergency candle. They're small, they're cheap, they're lightweight. It's one of those that all these items, I tried to make them really small, really cheap, really lightweight, so you can really just toss them in the smallest little zipper pouch that you have. And then last is just a regular number 2 wooden pencil. There is a bunch of reasons. Obviously, you can write with it, and writing is probably going to be more important than what you think. You're going to be able to take the shavings and you can use that to help you start a fire. Uh, you can use those in a medical purpose. Let's say that you have a broken or a fracture on your finger or something along those lines, or maybe even just a wrist or something. You can use that to help be a brace. You can use it in other different things to repair. There's a lot of reasons to have a pencil when it comes to different things like this. And again, small, cheap, lightweight, really not an excuse not to have one. On all these, run down through that whole list and you can look these up and really go into a deep dive. And you go, wow, he said chapstick. Uh, Type into the Google search or whatever you use and go, you know, prepping chapstick, why would it be a good idea? Something along those lines. And you will see page after page of people giving you all the plus and all the benefits of why you might want to consider doing it. That resonates with you, there you go. Maybe throw it in your kit. So that's what I've got for you guys. I hope that you got a little bit of something out of this. If you think that I forgot something, which I only did a few, so I'm sure there's a lot more out there, drop them down in the comments. If we get a bunch of responses, then maybe we'll do a part 2 to this. But made it to this far in the video, guess what? You rock. I appreciate you spending a little bit of time with me. I hope you guys have a very blessed day. Stay tuned because there's definitely more information to come. And with that, remember above all else, remain united because we're all prepping in this together.